The jazz trio in the corner of Ellington's played their mellow sun, a night tune, but for me, the music had long since dissolved into background static. It was supposed to be a celebratory dinner, another one of those formal, overly polished evenings Olivia insisted on. A family tradition, she called it. A chance for everyone to catch up, reconnect, and pretend any of us actually enjoyed being trapped across from one another under soft chandelier light, and the faint scent of rosemary and butter from the filet mignon. I wasn't the type to complain. I'd sat through dozens of these dinners, smiling, nodding, listening. I'd paid for most of them too, not because I had to, but because Olivia always framed it as something I could easily take care of, her words. Not mine, but that night was different. That night, something cracked. You know what you've always been, Jack. Olivia slurred, lifting her glass in a lazy toast that didn't deserve to be called one. Convenient, she paused for effect, lips curving. And profitable, laughter burst from her lips, far too loud for the table size, not the polite laughter of someone who made a harmless joke. No, this was rich, malicious laughter dripping with the kind of pleasure only bullies truly enjoy. Her parents leaned back in their chairs like they'd been waiting for the punchline. Everett clapped slowly, amused. Diane smirked behind her Pinot like she was at a comedy club, rather than a dining room full of strangers trying to mind their own dinners. I didn't laugh, I didn't blink, I didn't move. The only thing I heard was her voice echoing through the space between us. Convenient, profitable, excuse me. I said not loudly, but with enough weight to silence the table. Olivia tilted her head, playing coy the way she always did when she thought she had the upper hand. Oh, come on, don't be such a— say it again. I cut in. She froze mid-sip, wine lingering on the rim of her glass. Jack, Diane cooed, reaching for a sugar-coated tone she only used when she wanted to manipulate the room. Sweetheart, don't take it personally. Olivia was just joking. No. My eyes never left Olivia. She wasn't. She's never joking when it comes to humiliating me in front of you all. Isn't that right, darling? Olivia's eyes sharpened instantly, predator to prey in reverse. Don't twist this into some dramatic pity party. You knew what you signed up for, did I? I leaned forward, my elbows sinking into the white linen tablecloth. Because I don't remember signing up for public ridicule or being spoken about like a leased car, Everett chuckled. Oh, lighten up, if the shoe fits. That was when I smiled, cold, clean, controlled. You know what's funny. I glanced between them. You all laugh like you've contributed something, like you built this life. Their expressions shifted subtle at first, then steadily collapsing. When Olivia's boutique was one bad quarter from collapsing. I continued, I wired 40 grand to keep it alive. When your roof caved in, Everett, I paid the contractor. Diane, your wine business, I hired your accountant and cleaned up your books personally. Silence, no more laughter, no coy smirks, no slow claps. You really think I'm here because I'm convenient. I turn to Olivia fully now. I'm the only one at this table who's been holding the scaffolding up while you all pretend you built the house. Olivia parted her lips, but nothing came out. Her smirk faltered, cracked, then vanished entirely. I gave up San Francisco. I continued, my voice steady but hollowing out everything around us. I sold my equity in a company that IPO'd this year because you didn't want to leave Nashville. I invested in you, I believed in you, and you repay that with jokes about how profitable I am. Her cheeks flushed crimson, a color I'd only ever seen on her when she'd lost control. I think you should leave, she hissed. You're embarrassing yourself. No. I rose from my chair calmly, no shaking hands, no raised voice. I'm reminding you what respect sounds like when someone finally decides to speak it out loud. I reached into my pocket, placed my card on the table. Dinner's on me. Everett's eyes widened. Diane's lips tightened. Olivia's stare faltered into something frightened. I didn't storm out. I didn't slam a chair or yell. I just walked quiet, steady, deliberate, but inside, something broke loose. Not rage, not sadness, clarity. The man Olivia mocked profitable. Convenient, he had built empires from the ground up. He had sacrificed years of sleep and ease, and she used that as a punchline. and I was done trading dignity for companionship. The next morning, the silence in our kitchen was suffocating. No jazz, no clinking pans, just the faint hum of the refrigerator and the steady ticking of the wall clock. Olivia sat at the island in her silk robe, her armor of choice legs crossed, sipping coffee with the same elegance she'd weaponized the previous night. I stood across from her, hair still damp from the shower, shirt crisp but skin burning beneath it. She didn't bother looking up. "So that's it?" I asked quietly, not even a hint of regret. She sipped again, then finally lifted her gaze. "Regret for what, Jack? For telling the truth?" I blinked. That wasn't truth. I said, "That was cruelty dressed as confidence." She rested her chin in her hand. "I only said what everyone already knew. You're convenient, you're generous, sure, but let's not pretend you don't benefit from this marriage. You think I stayed because it was convenient." My jaw tightened. She shrugged slightly. "Didn't you?" I laughed. One dry, broken sound. "You think working 70 hours a week, giving you access to every account, paying for your parents' indulgences, carrying us through every storm, that's convenience. I never asked you to play hero. You're right. I said, I chose it. I chose to believe you were worth the sacrifices. I chose to build something with you, not for you." She stood abruptly, arms folding into a shield. "What do you want to thank? You note, a gold star, that's what husbands do." "No," I said quietly. "That's what partners do, and you stopped being mine." "You're overreacting," she snapped. "It was one dinner." "It wasn't a joke," I said. "You didn't hesitate. You didn't stutter. You called me profitable like I was a ledger entry." Her lips parted, maybe to justify, maybe to reframe, but I lifted a hand. No more spin, no more charm, no more pretending. I stepped closer. "Do you love me, Olivia, or do you just love what I can do for you?" She didn't answer. She turned, poured the rest of her coffee down the drain, rinsed the mug, and walked away. Not anger. Not remorse, indifference. That was the wound that split the deepest. The office, that same D.Y. Whitmore Digital's penthouse office, always made me feel like I'd arrived somewhere meaningful. But today, all I saw was a city where I'd been played. On my desk lay 2 thick folders, legal drafts, financial petitions, contingency plans I'd written months ago but never imagined I'd need. I opened the first one, revocation of spousal access. Her name stared up at me in elegant serif font, Olivia DeVoe Whitmore. She insisted on the hyphen, said it made her sound established. I signed one stroke, then another. Initials done, a knock. Harris stepped in. "My operations director, loyal since the garage days. Everything in order, sir." I nodded. "Remove her from all business accounts, effective immediately. Do you want her notified formally?" "No," I said. "Let her find out the way I found out everything else by surprise." He nodded and left, and just like that, the first foundation cracked from under her feet. That evening, when I walked through the door at 6:42 p.m., Olivia lounged on the couch with a laptop and a glass of wine. She looked content, as if nothing in her world had shifted even an inch. "Thought you had a board dinner," she said. Cancelled. She didn't ask why. She expected me to share only what benefited her. After a moment, she said casually, without looking up, "I need access to the business account tomorrow. Deposit for the foundation gala." "No," I said plainly. "You won't?" She blinked. "What?" "I revoked your access this morning." Her hand froze on her keyboard. "You're joking." I shook my head. Her voice rose half an octave. "You're cutting me off. Is this revenge?" "No," I said, sipping my water. "This is boundaries. You're being spiteful." "No." I smiled. Spite would have been emptying the account. "I just made sure you can't treat me like an ATM. You can't be serious." "I can survive without love," I said quietly, "but I will not survive without respect." For the first time in years, Olivia had no comeback, no sarcasm, no performance. She sat down slowly, eyes distant, hands trembling, and something like fear flickered behind them. A power shift not loud, not cruel, but unmistakable, had finally begun. Mara stolpert rukwaets während das Echo ihrer eigenen Schritt durch den Korridor halt. Der Schmerz an ihrem Arm pulsiert heiß, doch sei wagt nicht wieder hinzusehen. Das Bild des Merkurdigen, Glasserteigen Abdrucks auf I, Her Hautbrand sich bereits unauslerschlich in ihrer Gedächtnis ein. Die Tour am Ende des Ganges stand nun afen, obwohl Mara sich sicher war, sei beim Hereinkommen geschlossen zu haben. Ein kühler Luftzug strich hindurch, ließ die feinen Haar in ihrem Nacken aufrecht stehen. Sie kämpft mit der Panik, die in ihrem Brustkorb nagt und zwang sich, die Windseigen Geriusch was unehmen. Ein leises Ticken, ein kaum hörbares Rascheln, ein dumpfer Schlag als heb sich was schwiers in einem der Angrens, enden Reum bewegt? Mara at meet tief durch untastet sich vorwärts. Jede Faser ihres Körpers schrei, den Ort zu verlassen, doch urgendet, was ein seltsamer innerer Zwang hielt, sei davon ab. Es war der Drang, der sei, dazu gebracht hat, das Verboten, Zimmer im Ostflügel zu betreten, obwohl Mrs. Armand ihr Osterklick eingeschafft hat, diesen Bär, ich zu meiden, vielleicht war es Neugier, oder etwas anderes, etwas Unerklärliches. Als sei den Turmen erreicht, fror sei ein, der Raum war nun vollständig verändert. Ein Moment zuvor war leer Jewisen nur staubedeckt Möbel und ein verhängendes Fenster. Jetzt jedoch lag ein Muster auf dem Boden, feins Überlich aus kleinen Splittern arrangiert, die im Licht wie Diamanten glänzten. Die Form war kreisförmig mit strahlenartigen Linien, die wie ein uralt Symbol wirkten. Das war her nicht heirer, flüstert Mara, als könnt sei sich selbst davon überzeugen. Ein sanftes Nacken hinter ihr ließ sei herumfahren, doch nehm en war dort, nur ein Schatten einer, der sich nicht mit den Konturen der Möbel deckt, workt fehl am Platz, unnatürlich verlangert als would von einerlich, Quellstamen die es nicht gab, Mara schluckt hart, sei zwang sich. Wieder auf den Boden zu blicken, doch die Splitter bewegten sich nicht obwohl sei sicher war, eben ein feins Zittern wahrgenommen zu haben. Dan bemerkt sei etwas anderes, ein dünner Rauchfaden stieg aus der mit des Musters auf. Weislich, fast durchsichtig, und doch seltsam schwer. Schien sich in der Luft zu verdichten, form anzunehmen wenn auch kein, die sei binnen current. Genug, sagt sei mit bruchiger Stimme, ich muss hier raus, ich muss, ein weiters Nacken, dieses Mal rechts von ihr. Dan links, Dan direkt hinter ihrem Ohr, ihr Bein versagten beinahe. Sei presst die Hand auf den schmerzenden Abdruck an ihrem Arm und stolpert ruck. Witz aus dem Raum. Der Rauch begann sich nun deutlicher zu bewegen, als would ein unsichtbar Kraft, lenken, oder atmen. Mara rant, nicht mehr leis, nicht bedacht nur in purer, unverfälschter Angst. Der Korridor schien sich vor ihr zu strecken, lenger zu werden, aber sei ließ erst los, als sei mit Waller, wat gegen die Tour am Ende prallt. Sei riss sei auf, stuest hindurch und schlug sei hinter sich zu, still, oder zu meindest fast. Den hinter der Tour hört sei ein letztes, sanfts klimpern wie Glas, das sich nu ordnet. Mara sank zu Boden und rang nach Atem. Der Schmerz an ihrem Arm pocht im Takt ihres racenden Herzens. Sei wollt schreien, doch kein Ton kam heraus. Trennen skossen ihr in die Augen, doch sei wischt sei brusque weg. Sei must rational bleiben, sei must verstehen, was hierer Jesche. Und vor allem must sei entscheiden, ob sei den Arm misses. Armen zeigen konnte oder ob das nur noch mehr fragen aufrufen would, langsam zitternd, hab sei ernut den Amel. Der Abdruck hat sich verändert. Die Form war nicht länger nur ein Muster sei schien, sich weiter auszubreiten wie ein feins Netz aus Windseigen Rissen, die unter ihre Haut entstanden. Wie das wachstum eines Kristalls. Cool, präzise, unaufhaltsam, ein Schwindelgefühl überkam sei. Nien bit nicht, die Riss pulsierten leicht, und in diesem Moment ward Mara klar, was immer sei im Ostflügel beruhet hat, es hat sei nicht nur markiert. Es hat begonnen, sich mit ihr zu verbinden,